I'm ready to begin the test phases of testing 350, the 462 Pacific locomotive. The first test is track stand that we'll do right here. The second will be the test layout or the test loop, and the final one will be on the railhead itself, the layout. Now in the track stand test, I prefer to have it connected to the tender. I want to see the current traveling through the tender. Prior to this, I had already polished and cleaned the trucks again, including the swipe springs and the axles, and made sure they had good tension. I also lubricated the journal boxes, connected it to power. As far as on the chassis, I lubricated all the axles with the Bell 102 gear lube, very lightly, and as well as the main gear, as well as the worm gear, as well as its contact point with the thrust washers, and then up on the tip end, right at the commutator, I put a very light coating of gear lubricant on the shaft that goes into the brush bracket assembly. Everything inside the brushes were kept dry. I also lubricated with CRC 226, which is perfect for this because it's great for electromechanical devices. With CRC 226 and things like the pawl, the drum, excuse me, the drum, the lift, everything had a very, very light coating. This train was rebuilt in approximately 2015, at which time I had already cleaned and polished the drum, and I noticed in the disassembly this time that the drum was still extremely clean and in great condition. That shows the proper use of the CRC 226 because it is supposed to lubricate, it has cleaning capabilities, and it's supposed to enhance electrical properties. So I used it here. Now the only other place that I can think of right offhand, there's probably others that I've used it, electromechanical devices, perfect for this, or other motors, of course, possibly. Things like log loader and even the talking station. But I have used it extensively on switches, mainly because of the plastic compatibility and in cleaning the top and the bottom of the switches. But I also lightly coat any contact points in switches because they are true electromechanical devices. And it keeps those plates and brushes in there clean and does not cause any unnecessary drag. Now you have to be careful in using it because I have demonstrated a long time ago, you over lubricate a switch, it might have the possibility of being able to move on its own when the train passes over it. So it also has the possibility of shorting out a switch, as I did on some all metal Lionel pre-war switches or Marx switches. Didn't work so well there. Now what I would not use CRC 226 on, I would not endorse it, nor would I recommend it, is that it be used on the railhead. It is not designed for that. Yes, it can clean. Yes, it does lubricate, and it leaves a film of a lubricant on the railhead. And yes, it does enhance electrical properties, such as what might be transferred through the railhead to the contact wheels, but that's not what it's designed to do. It's actually flammable, and it has a cautionary statement on it to never spray it on a moving or motor in which there might be some sparks being issued. So leave it off of that. In addition to that, nobody to my knowledge has ever done any scientific research, a controlled test, to see what the impact of CRC 226 would be on pull more tires, whether it has the capability to disintegrate them, whether it soaks in, whether it actually lessens the pull more's ability to adhere and bond to the railhead. None of that. So I wouldn't use it there. I'm going to be moving into a new phase of railhead cleaning and prep for use with trains later, and I'll share that with you. But it's going to involve, number one, pure mineral spirits, 100% pure mineral spirits, not the paint thinner kind of mineral spirits, the kind that's designed specifically for cleaning, and a product called deoxit. So we'll talk about that in some time in the future. So with that said, let's see how it responds and performs. I can tell how well the lubricant is doing just the ability of how it coasts, the axles and the motor coast. This is the 50 mile an hour setting on a 2B transformer. $50-mile-an-hour setting in reverse. So I think it's adequate. I think it passes and can be moved on to being attached to the boiler, as well as all the side linkages. I also lubricated all high RPM friction points, such as the nuts that hold the side linkages on. And I'll be doing that once the remainder of the side linkage is on, just trying to eliminate any drag whatsoever. So I think it's ready to be moved into the test track phase.